You gotta take risks to prosper. I'm a mobster, stacking my fettuccine, just really getting my sauce up. Boss up.
Welcome to season 2 of TBI UNcovered, the platform that allows traumatic brain survivors, those with brain injuries, brain conditions, the wheelchair community, the caregivers, medical professionals to share their stories, provide tips and resources to those impacted. Today I have a guest, he has an amazing story. He's from Washington, and he has a powerful story. So I'm going to bring him in now. Hi, how are you?
Doing well. I'm doing well. How are you doing, Erica?
Good. Good. Everything good in Seattle? How's the weather over there?
It's pretty sunny right now. We got some good, little cloudy, so you never know with Seattle, man. You might get all different weather elements in one day. So it might snow, it might rain, it might thunder, it might hail, all in 30 minutes.
It's the same here. It's the same here as well. But yeah. So I'm glad we got to connect. I'm glad we got to connect and stuff, and it's so amazing. I know you got a powerful story. So, first I want to tell people, share with us who you are, the man behind Handy No Cap. I love the name, by the way.
Well, you know, Mr. Handy No Cap. My name is Damario. I am a trauma survivor. I was shot in the back 2 years ago and lost my ability to walk. And ever since then, I have become CEO vibes. CEO vibes.
Sorry, B
Uh,
said it.
just, I've been an advocate in my community, just trying to help as many people as I can that have dealt with trauma or something similar or going through something similar. I'm working in a hospital, high school, so my life is for me to be the man that I've always wanted to be. I'm a living example of man overcoming triumph.
Sure.
So it's a beautiful thing, man. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be on these platforms, share my story with people, and just connecting with people that I never expected to. I think the main thing is building rapport with strangers, and that's one of the things that I've learned due to my situation. A lot of my support I didn't know can of pain. So
Mhm.
I'm share my story, inspire, and just connect with beautiful people, man, and just love one another, man. That's what it's about. Love is the cure, man. That's what I'm here for.
I love it. So when I came across your profile, I was like, this nigga, I don't know. Cause at first I didn't pick up media. Like I saw trap, and you don't have just like a normal trap. It was like you have the cross and the R and A P whatever. And I'm like, so I didn't fully understand like until I got to your page like what it was all about. I'm like, oh, I'm like that's very inspiring. So this one it intrigued me to want to know more, whatever. And so I want to talk about a picture you posted on IG when you were on a car you're on a charger,
Mhm.
and what I found powerful with resonated with me was when what you wrote, and something in particular you said you need to get shot to you need to get shot to see the other side of things. So what does that mean? Like, can you further explain what that means? What you meant by that?
So basically, what I meant by that is when I got into my situation, uh, of course, anytime you go through something traumatic, there's a lot of whys, there's a lot of questions,
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of looking for a lot of answers, and
Mm-hmm.
um, I just think at that time it was just it was like a part the old me died. It put me in a position now where I was able to become the person that I always wanted to be. It put
Mm-hmm.
me now where I had to talk about my problems and my issues. I couldn't just manipulate situations and
Yeah.
be an adult now. And that's pretty much where that came from. When I got shot, the old me literally died, and a new me arose, and it was an
I like
opportunity
that.
to make a better situation out of my life. I struggled loving myself, loving who I was, being
Mm-hmm.
honest with myself. And when I got in this situation, it made no thing a lot easier for me to speak about my hardships and the things I was going through. And
Mm-hmm.
just on a platform like this, wasn't used to that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much where that post came from, what inspired that. And I'm working in a hospital, things that I never, thought that I would ever be doing. So it was just a humbling moment to look back and realize.
It's definitely humble. I could definitely attest to that. I feel the same way all the time. Like I didn't know I had a brain injury initially. Like when after I shot, I didn't even know what happened. Like for the first 4 months, I didn't even know what happened to me. So it's like I was like just living, just in hospital. Like I didn't get in your brain. Well, at least for me, my experience was that I didn't even think I had no thoughts. So people who say that's kind of like, what you mean you had no thoughts? Like you got to think. And I'm like, I really had no thoughts. Like I didn't even think like, oh, what happened to me? Why am I here? Like it never dawned on me like someone to ask anything, whatever. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I just really I'm really like humble, like like what you said or whatever. You said a lot of powerful stuff. And so, did you know you were paralyzed automatically, or there was something you just knew already, or did it just come about like you found out from the doctor told you, or?
I mean, in the back of my head, common sense.
Mm-hmm.
When I got shot and I hit the ground, couldn't feel my legs, and
Hmm.
I've been using my legs for pretty long time.
Yeah, yeah.
I was 26 when I got shot, so just in that moment, like when my legs went numb, I knew right then, like I couldn't walk, but
Right.
my adrenaline's rushing, so I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
what time, I didn't know how severe it was. So my main focus was really just to stay alive. I'm telling the people around me that I don't want to die, like just and they're holding my
Mm-hmm.
hand close really tight, and they're telling me to breathe, just breathe, just breathe. Like those are the only things that I truly remember in that moment, was that I was worried about not dying. It was Thanksgiving morning too, so I
Hmm.
wanted to go back home to my family, but unfortunately, I was in wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, that's
But
what I would say. Mhm.
like even like I started reading, a lot, and I opened this book, Napoleon Hill, called it's called Outwitting the Devil. That's the
Okay.
that's the book that I was reading, and things that I read in the book, a quote that stuck with me was, discovery of self usually comes at the result of an emergency, when men are forced to think their way out of a tough situation.
Hmm.
And that's what the realization of, where I was at in my life, that I needed to be better, that I knew that me getting shot was karma for how I treated people
Hmm.
before for my encounter. So that's how I got to my why. My why was through reading and not placing blame on anybody else, but my own actions.
Hmm. Well, and the other side of this, I feel like not to say we don't have a part in what happens to us, but I also think that sometimes to get our attention, and
That
sometimes a bigger purpose than just something. It's sometimes a bigger purpose than your consequence. What I'm trying to say, and so
that
like it's a purpose behind it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just for you. It's for other
right,
people to tell other people like how you can come over, how you can make it through. Because some people like man, how do you do it? Like how do you live every day? How do you do what you do? Whatever. It's like, well, I had no choice. To us, it's like
right.
I had no choice but to keep moving. But people like if it's so amazed, like, oh my god, like how do you even? So I think it's just be an example
Mm-hmm.
of show other people like anything you can go through, you can get through anything. You can go through anything like what we've been through, and still make it through. Like, still have a smile on your face and still, live and be
Right.
cool and just, and just not feel sorry for yourself. Not be like, oh, why me? And not, it's not my fault. No. Like, just move along. So I think it's way bigger than us. Like, just it's an initial situation. I mean, whatever, child, whatever. So it's only bigger than that.
No, I,
Um,
I definitely agree.
yeah. So what was the hardest part about your recovery to you?
The hardest part of my was honestly true, to be true, like completely honest, like not having sex was like the because I didn't. I,
Wait, wait a minute. Wait 1 second. You said not having. You said not having sex.
that in the beginning, that was the hardest moment because I was so used to living my life a certain way.
Yeah, I understand.
And when it's taken away from you, you're like, who's gonna love me? Who's really gonna be
Right.
really gonna
I
accept,
get it.
through this moment? So I'm like, well, I'm hindered. I can't. I'm man down. Like there's nothing I can do. I can't please anybody. I can't do anything right now. So I had to get
That's
out of that.
real.
I had to get out of that space. Like once I got myself out of that mindset, it was kind of like, everything just started rolling. Like I was more hard on my than my peers were.
Mm-hmm.
So people started to come visit me in the hospital and things like that. They made me feel as normal as possible. So it wasn't like it almost helped me forget about it. I knew I was still, but at the same time, it was like to feel normal. That was so when people came around and they didn't even talk about my wheelchair, I'm like, cool. I'm like, this is making like I can get through this. It was just
Yeah,
like I was used to doing, playing football, playing basketball, all these things that I thought I wouldn't be able to do. But while I was in the hospital, dealing with, mental health counselors and getting resources that I needed, found out that wasn't. So there's wheelchair basketball that you can sign up for. There's
absolutely.
that they have to get back to living a normal life. And I think it was like I was just rolling down. I enjoy the ride. So it was like that was. I think that was the tough part in the beginning, figuring out how I'm gonna get back to being me.
Mm-hmm. I can understand that. So, well, I guess it kind of ties into my next question. Like, your difficulty with having to using the wheelchair. Like, you embrace it, and I love how you embrace. You make it look so cool. Like, I'm like, he be swagged out. He be like living his life, like
Yeah,
living your best life. Like, and you have to. You have to. Because I
yeah,
mean, until things change, or I mean, if, until things you have to your life there so you best so you can. So you can't
mm,
just like fall off and be like, oh well, this is it. Like this is all it is. And so I love how you keep pushing forward and you still like I say you kick it, your IG be popping like
but not like before I got shot. Like I always, I dress, I look nice. I mean,
yeah,
it might have not looked how I wanted it to look, but
yeah,
I would still be in the mirror for an hour checking
yeah.
myself out to make sure my appearance is nice. So, and I just truly believe in that. When you look good, you feel good, and
That's right.
that was part of it. I wanted to look, I wanted to feel nice. So that's a part of it.
Mhm.
I'm a dress down in the finest linen. Uh, you know, for my confidence, it's really not
Yeah.
about any
Right,
more
it's
so
like
how
that's true.
I myself up. It's how I dress myself up every day.
That's right.
It's how I approach the day. So
I love
that's
it. I love it.
it was just like I truly was. I was just nervous about being accepted
Mm-hmm.
in this
That's
position.
true.
I got out of that mindset, started living for my everything just kind of fell into place. Then now I'm in this position. A lot of people that are looking up to me and looking at me for resources and things like that. Would I be to let those people down?
That's right.
Not only down, but there's a group of people who are expecting me to, you know, to try to make it out of my situations. I
That's
couldn't I
right.
could I couldn't let them down. And also I think there was a point in time where I was real close to suicide.
So I'm sorry, say it again.
I said starts from the hospital. After spending 2 months in the hospital, I was really, really close to suicide.
Oh,
That was probably my hardest transition from the hospital to go back home and not really having all the doctors and things around
yeah.
to things that you need. And I
Yeah.
was pop pills. I wrapped the cord around my neck. There was a bunch of
Mm,
things I do to
mm.
myself
Jesus.
out of this. I really wasn't truly prepared for it. But once that pain everything started to subside, started to go better.
That's
That was
good.
literally.
I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad that turned around for you. I'm glad God turned it around for you because we would be here. We would not be here. I wouldn't know you. We would be here. Like, and like I said, it's a bigger purpose. It's bigger than both of us. Like, it's not about what happened to us. It's about what we do with what happened to us.
Mhm.
So, with some impact. Wow, that was powerful. That was powerful. So when you have difficult moments, what keeps you moving forward? Like, what keeps you pressing? Like, to want to keep going on? Besides, people depend on you. Besides that, like, what else keeps you moving forward?
Well, like I said, I mean, before me getting shot, I didn't have any goals other than probably going to FL or the NBA.
Mm.
So when I got shot, I got a job at the hospital. Maybe like a year later, I ended up getting a job at the hospital. I started um, and I'm doing things like this. I'm on a platform with you speaking. I'm sharing my story, and this is something that I've always wanted to do, but I just didn't feel like I was in a position to be preaching to people and trying to tell them how to live their life if I was still, you know, living
Yeah.
this way. So, truth, man, the motivation was me just fought my goals and everything just fall in line. Once I started to have like, okay, I know I'm on the right path. It was like tunnel vision. It was like keep going, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what, no matter what bad comes around, but just keep going because I know now that I'm on the path just through me being more spiritual and being open to the signs and paying attention to things that are going on in my life. That you're doing the right thing. So just keep going, keep paying attention, just keep listening to the signs, keep sharing,
Mm-hmm.
talking to people. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and that help. That's helping me tremendously, tremendously. I ask for anything else. I don't even think I would rewind time if I.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy to say that because I never thought that I would get to. I would accept being a wheelchair,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
but that I love everything about myself now. The
Mm-hmm.
flaws, everything I accept it, and I because I know how important.
Yes, sir.
Seeing now that I'm living in my truth, I look around the room when I read the room, and I realize how hard it is for people to do that. I don't ever want to go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever want to be the person because
That's
this
the way. Mm-hmm.
confidence, it's man, it's I don't even know how to. It's so it attracts people to you.
It really does. Like, can you say before? Like, I feel like my life has so much more meaning now. Not saying my life had meaning before, but it's like everything's so clear to me. Like, it's just like a aha. Like, it's just like a light bulb that goes off. It's just, you know,
Hmm. No, I agree 100%. Just
yeah.
kind of that's why I'm saying it's like it's a tragic situation, but in the same breath, I've been able to shape my life up to where I don't have to work for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I but other than that, I wake up and I do what I want. My I have the freedom to do what I want.
It's,
That's a blessing to me.
it
That,
really is. It really is. Like, it's so much freedom in that. Like, it's just like I have it's so much freedom in that, and plus I have my saying that I say is that accept what was and now it is. So I mean, and it's just as simple as that.
mhm.
Accept what was that's what it was. Now accept what this life is right now, what it is. So that's what I tell myself. Like, what you gonna do? You gotta roll with it. I mean, you gonna stop? Stop is not. I said quitting is an option, but it's not my option. So
Right.
you gotta keep. My daddy always say, "Baby girl, you gotta keep moving." So and that's all I know. That's all that's on my mind is that I gotta keep moving. Like, period. So that's all I know.
That was the big truth. That's what life teaches.
Mm-hmm.
matter what we're dealing with. I had, even before me getting shot, I had friends that died and didn't make it to the team. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was PTSD before knowing what PTSD was.
Me,
And
me too. Like,
but I just didn't have resources. I come from a low income family. I come
mm-hmm.
from Section 8. Like those are things we didn't have the money to go counselor and things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
trauma bonds with friends and stuff that we grew up with kids.
Yeah,
So in this position and I'm on this platform and I have the resources, I want to let people know that look like me,
mm-hmm.
what's out there. Because
Right.
dealing with all this trauma and we don't have the resources. We don't understand what's going on. We don't understand how to process it. We don't understand that we need to share these things with people in order to, in order to fight what we're doing. And
Absolutely.
it was like once I this where they made me feel comfortable with sharing what I was going through, I understood to be in this position and to impact not myself, but a lot of things that there's a lot of knowledge and we don't know about.
That's right. Yes, that's so true. It's so true. Like, I never knew about brain injury. So I'm like, what, I never knew. I mean, because when I was walking, I had no need to learn about it. Like, there was no reason to even learn about it. Like, or even have any idea, no reason. But now, like I said, I'm in this position. It's like, not saying I don't have to do this, but it's just, I just don't see myself not doing anything and being told no. I don't like, and then like as far as like working or whatever, like I've tried, like I've gotten hired at places before, but like COVID happened, so it's like I'm like, so what was we do? Like I can't not do nothing. So
Right.
I cannot do nothing, and so the guy in my screen was like, it's I don't know the YouTube channel, so I do YouTube channel. And then I'm like, I mean, I can do videos or whatever, but I'm like, but it's so then. Guy he's like, well, interview survivors. And I'm like, okay, so but it just all fell in line like, and this girl, she was like, can I use your I did a post or something. I'm at like a lot of brain groups on Facebook, and I made a post, and she asked if she used it. And I'm like, yeah, of course you can use it or whatever. And so then God was like, interview survivors, interview her, whatever. And I'm like, okay. And so I asked her, we talked about whatever. And then this was birth. TBI UNcovered was birth, and so yeah. So it all fell in line, like yeah, I fell in
Mm.
line. And
I
like
saw you for you because you didn't have to exert yourself to find that lab. It just came your way.
it did. It fell in line. It really did. And I'm just like, it's just so. Like I said, I don't know. And it just gives me so much fulfillment. Like I love encouraging. I love encouraging people. I love being encouraged. I love encouraging people. So it's just like it just all comes full circle. So
That's man, love is definitely the cure. I'm grown to learn that. Even if I wasn't in the cure, I think that the importance of uniting other is something that we lack. And
mm-hmm.
even in the Black community, it's like we don't look out for one another. It takes a village mentality. We
Mm-hmm.
I think we rely on candid, and there's gonna be times where we need each other. We need to fall back on each other and shoulder to lean on it. And that's what this situation has taught me. Like, I don't have to go through anything.
That's right.